How you doing, everyone? This is Borderlands 3 in 3D in side-by-side mode. I'm using the Geo-11 drivers. There's a few things you're going to have to do to get this game running before you start playing it. So really quickly, I'm just going to go through this. So my setup right now, I'm using the NVIDIA app to upscale the image from 1080p to 4K. So it's showing 4K here, but it's 1080p. It's being dynamically upscaled. Now you want to make sure that your game is in full screen mode. Then you're going to go to your advanced section. Now under anti-aliasing, mine always is set to temporal for whatever reason. I guess it's just that when it detects the graphics card that you're using, if it can handle it, it'll set it to that. My graphics card is an RTX 2080 Ti. So you want to set it to FXAA. Okay, now that's half the battle. Now when you first start the game, your convergence and your separation is a little bit wonky. It's not too bad. There are some presets. So here are the different presets. That's the one that comes with the game. Now this is the custom section. So what you do is you're going to hit Control F6. That's going to pop up. You're going to want to set your separation to 80, and you're going to want to set your convergence to roughly about 20. Okay, I'm going to show you why. Also, too, when you hit the comma button, your heads-up display, it cycles through the different depths. So you don't want that screen depth. You want it just a little bit in. That's how I prefer it anyways. When you look down your sights, the convergence gets very, very low. So that way it lines up nicely, and it's not too too much for your eyes to line up in 3D. So when you have super high separation and high convergence, that typically makes it really hard to look down your sights. But this setup is perfect. It actually goes straight down. It goes from a higher convergence to a lower convergence, which is perfect. So, and another reason why I like to keep it the settings here is because when you have bigger guns like this gun right here, it takes up a lot of visual space, and there's a little bit of pop out on the back end of that gun. It's coming out of the screen just a little bit, and so where you have your HUD, it sort of cross-talks over, right? It overlaps each other. So you can have it set. You can set it to, if you go through, hit your combo button, you can cycle and get it to screen depth, right? It makes it a little bit less annoying. But typically I play with pistols and rifles, and they don't really take up too much of the screen space, and so those guns don't really have a lot of pop out on them either. So I go just a little bit into the screen, like that. So that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do to get it running and getting it looking right. There are some issues when you come up here to the vending machines, right? There's a little bit, where certain things are at the wrong depth, but pretty much everything is correct. And the stuff that's not, you can fix it if you want to. But typically the way I have it set up right now is how I like it. So I'm just going to refill my ammo. And we're going to go finish this quest. I've got roughly about an hour and 25 minutes to play the game and showcase it off for you guys. I know it's an older game, right? We have Borderlands 4 just came out, which apparently it looks visually, it's a really nice looking game. But Borderlands 3 is on sale right now for $7.99 on Steam. I think it's on sale in the Microsoft Store as well, because I believe that's where I saw it on sale. So I've got Game Pass for PC, and I noticed that it was on sale for 80% off, which is the same price on Steam. Now, I mostly have all my games running off on Steam, so I kind of like to keep everything in one place. So that's why I typically buy only from Steam. But yeah, if you have a Microsoft account and you have Game Pass and you have your games on there, pick it up there. It's the same price, $7.99. So I actually paid $19.99 because this bundle is the DLC bundle, so it does have a couple DLCs added to it, which is kind of cool. Okay, a lot of skags here. There we go. Okay, we're good. I do apologize for my voice as well. So my setup kind of foobarred on me. The way I had my rig, I had my Blue Yeti set up to sort of like it was was on a contraption that basically it could kind of hover over my head a little bit, but the part that was latching onto the wall kind of bent, and yeah, it just kind of like sagged there. So I had to go find the original stand that came with the Blue Yeti mic, and it works fine, but it's probably not good. I don't have a pop mic, so I'm sorry if there's a lot of popping when I'm talking, but I don't have a pop mic to it. But I wanted to get this game out here because I actually have the game on the PS5, and it looks great on the PlayStation 5. It runs perfect too. And to be honest with you, I can barely tell the difference between the PlayStation 5 version and this version. Now, I am upscaling from 1080p. There's a couple other things that the PC version does that I think the PS5 version doesn't do. You can adjust your anti-aliasing. So I have my anti-aliasing up to about 16, I believe. So that makes a little bit of a difference. And also I have some internal upscaling on with the Geo-11 driver. So it's actually double upscaling. I'm getting a solid 60, which is nice. The game looks good. It does look good. It looks good. The digital vibration is set up a little bit higher than what you're probably normally used to when you're watching games or playing games. So mine, if you go into your NVIDIA display drivers and go to the resolution and color section, under digital vibrance, I have it set up to 57. And the brightness is up to 52 and contrast is up to 57 as well. I also went in and I made my own custom resolution, and so I manually set it to 3840 by 2160, and then I go to the bit rate, and where it says 8-bit, underneath it typically NVIDIA likes to set it at limited. That's your range, your color range, and I set mine from limited to full. So that way the colors are a little bit richer, a little bit more vibrant as well, darker and deeper colors. I like it for this particular TV that I'm playing on because it's a 3D television. It doesn't support anything higher than 8-bit. So you can force 10-bit if you go to what is Y22, I believe, which also does look really good, but I do prefer RGB. But yeah, so those are basically the settings. We're gonna play the game, do a couple quests. I know it's been a little while since I've streamed a game, loaded anything up on YouTube, but I've been a little busy. Oh, cool. And what have we got in here? Anything good?
Bullets and bombs.
Okay, so let's compare that to what I've got.
Buy something or beat it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that one's a little bit better. You know what? I'm gonna buy that one. Is that the one I bought? Yeah, and then okay. Sorry, I know that was a lot of pop out. Sorry about that, guys. You're going to want to, actually, another thing you're going to want to do, if you are going to make your own custom separation and convergence for the Geo-11 drivers, you're going to want to first also go into your key bindings, and you're going to want to map all from F1 all the way to, I'd say, F9, and set that to your num lock. Okay, because when you're going to be trying to set your convergence up and your separation up, you're going to be opening your character's backpack and getting into the talents tree and all that stuff, because that's where it's all key bound to. See, that looks perfect. When you're looking down the sights, that's I couldn't ask it to be any better. That's perfect. Just the pop out on that gun is a little bit much. Yeah, and I've been playing games in 3D for a long time. Well, as long as it's been out. I was early adopter for 3D vision. And there's been an evolution in 3D. So we transitioned from 3D televisions to VR headsets. And I'm really grateful that they did that, because actually VR is actually what kept 3D alive. I mean, that's virtual reality really is 3D. Okay, you see in 3D, you have two eyes, you have stereoscopic vision. VR headsets are the same thing. It's just stereoscopic vision. It's just that it's the screen's right in front of your eyes, right? That's the only difference. I find that certain games are, play a little better on flat screen 3D televisions than, let's say, if you were to play on the VR headset like the Oculus Rift or something like that. For instance, like games like World of Warcraft. If you're going to play World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, which there are Geo-11 fixes for it, you're going to want to play it on a flat screen as opposed to a VR headset. And I know I've said this before a couple of times when, on other videos, but the difference is unbelievable. Like, oh, did these guys? What happened there? Oh, that was cool. Oh no! Oh no! A little bit of a glitch there, a little bit of a hiccup. Yeah, so games like World of Warcraft, you want to play it on a flat screen. If you're going to play it on a VR headset, everything looks huge. Everything looks big. Now, you can scroll out and see your character, but it's not the same thing. It doesn't look right in VR. The game has to be built from the ground up in order for it to look right. Now on a flat screen, perfect. So the new glasses-free 3D televisions that are out right now, the one from, was it the Acer Predator? I believe the Acer Predator, and then the Samsung one as well. Those are glasses-free, and games that that are MMOs like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, you're going to want to play games like that on that monitor as opposed to playing in VR. I wish I could, first person view is, FPS games do give you kind of an idea, right? Because when you go into first person view when you're playing an MMO like Warcraft, like you can imagine you could play the game like this in first person mode if you wanted to, but I'm telling you, it'd be really hard to run dungeons, raids, and do PvP. Probably just general questing and like killing random NPCs would probably be fine, but if you're going to do dungeons and things like that, you're going to want to be able to zoom out, right? And when you do that, when you're wearing a VR headset, it's a little bit cumbersome. It doesn't look right. So flat screens for certain games are better, and VR headsets are better for other games, right? Like, for instance, Hogwarts Legacy. Apparently, it looks fantastic. I've seen a few videos where people are using the Vortex drivers to run the game, and they're a modified Vortex driver as well. Oh, that looks cool. A modified Vortex driver where you're actually your left and your right hands are being mimicked in the game, which is really cool. Sort of like the Skyrim VR games. But when you're doing spells, you actually have to know how to draw out that spell using your hand, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of I find it a little bit cumbersome, but that's how you can play the game if you choose to in Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, did that break apart? That broke apart. Oh, that's cool. Destructible world. That's awesome. I didn't know that. That is freaking cool. Oh, whoa. I had no idea. You know what? Time to bring up big guns. Whoa. Oh, both the guns overheat. Oh, they overheat. Okay, I didn't know.
We got contacts.
Yeah, the game Game runs really well in 3D. I do have a little bit more powerful of a graphics card than what I used to be playing on, which is my 1660 Ti. But you know, the 2080 is actually a very old card, and people are saying that it has aged kind of like fine wine. It has actually gotten a lot better. It's probably about 50% more FPS than when the game originally launched, which is pretty incredible. So if you're getting 100 frames when the game, well, sorry, the GPU launched, when you're getting 100 FPS when the GPU first launched, on whatever game you're playing, you're probably gonna get closer to like 145, 140 now, which is, you know, even 150 is actually, in some cases, it's almost double. So this particular GPU has aged really nicely, which I'm glad, because I mean, you can also play a lot of games using 3D vision with this graphics card, and it does SLI. Oh, that is so cool! I did not know it did that. What did you say? Eat what? How do I launch my grenades? Is it R? Yes, it's R. Yeah, I should have. Oh, look at that. Right there. Here you go, lady. That's for you. Oh, they like float around and stuff. Ooh, a little bit of an FPS dip there. What did she say? I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down. I gotta think about my life. Okay, that's funny. Oh my god. There's so much stuff going on in this game. Okay. What did he say? I'm pretty sure he said I repent. Good man. You should repent. You should. It's good. Here we are. Okay. So I think if I started playing this game when it first came out, Borderlands first came out, was it 4 years ago? 5 years ago? 4 years ago, give or take? I'm not really sure. I can't. I believe it was 4 years ago. Running on the 2080, it would probably be just as good as it is now, because I think the 2080 came out 7 years ago. I believe it's been 7 years at this point, maybe even a little bit longer than that. So it's getting up there. It's getting a little long in the tooth, but it's still like it's aged really well, like fine wine. It really has. So if it doesn't have, you know, it's comparable to, I would say, an RTX 3070 in overall raw horsepower. Where did that guy go? What happened to that dude? Oh, she's gonna get me. Oh, okay, good. Who's killing me? So oh, right there, right behind me, you bugger. I did not even, definitely, I'm gonna die. Oh, there's gotta be health in here. Health? Oh yeah, it's all health. There we go. Okay, I gotta hide somewhere. And will my shield go up? There it goes. Okay.
I got stuff to do.
Don't we all?
You're out of your league, baby cakes.
Did you just call me baby cakes? Baby cakes? Oh, there you are. So this is probably the 5th time I've tried to do this video, and there's all these like little issues. Whoa! All these little issues that pop up every time I started like capturing some video. like minor things like the audio was off. You know, the picture quality didn't look very, very good. You know, like you could hear. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Oh, she got me down to 15. Yeah, like the audio being off was a big issue, because it was either my voice was too loud, you couldn't hear the game at all, you know, or you only hear the game and you couldn't hear my voice. So it was like, so I had to kind of tinker around with that for a little bit. Now I'm pretty happy with where it's at. I do apologize that it's going to be a little poppy. You're going to hear some pops because unfortunately my original setup, I can't use my pop mic. Oh, what's this? Can I get in here? Oh, can I get up here? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure these are the same chests that were in Tiny Tina's Wonder World, I think they call it. I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. Which is fine. There's nothing. It still suits the game, but just I can tell it looks familiar. Do I not get iridium from that or anything? Oh, I thought I got iridium or something.
Somebody help me!
But Borderlands, I believe Borderlands runs well. Borderlands 3 runs well, mainly because it was at the end of Unreal Engine 4. So I have noticed this growing trend, and I'm going to be honest here. Unreal Engine 5, I think, is still kind of a work in progress. Well, I mean, it is. It's always developing. It's always, you know, updating what it can do, better visuals, better performance. But I kind of feel like Unreal Engine 5 bit off a little bit more than it can chew, because the overall performance on the games, it's like, I understand like a lot of the newest games. Like any generation, when there's a new game that comes out, like brand new, it always pushes the current hardware to its limits. But Silent Hill 2, even on like a really high-end PC, the FPS, you know, you could get 60 F. You could, you know, put DLS on quality or ultra quality, you can get 60 FPS. But you know, games like Wukong, you know, you scratches my, you could get you could get 60 F as well with it. But you know, I remember back in the day, like when I first got my 6080, my GTX 6080 came out 2 GB version. It was the Founders Edition. Any game that came out, you could put it on max. Max resolution during that time was 1920 by 1080, and it was just all raw horsepower. There was no DLS, there was no upscaling back then. If there was upscaling, it wasn't the way it is now anyways, and you could play games fully at 60, even like, you know, 70, 80 FPS. No problems. So there is a scaling issue going on with how powerful GPRs are becoming, the utilization of AI to, you know, do some trickery to get some extra FPS, some upscaling and things like that. DLSS, you know, DLSS 4 is really good. FSRR is really good right now too. So you can get far more, you know, more FPS at a better visual quality, better visual fidelity. But for games like Wukong, I should be able to on a flagship GPU, an RTX 5090, 32 gigs, I really should be able to get 60 FPS, ultra settings, you know, not having to worry about using DLS or any of that other kind of stuff, just raw horsepower, and I should get 60 FPS. Should be getting more than 60 FPS, to be honest with you. But we're not there yet with the GPUs. I'm wondering if AMD, their next iteration of GPUs, are going to be so powerful, because I hear they're going to be really powerful. I hope this is true. It's just leaked information. People are talking about it. You can find out on the internet. You can, you know, check YouTube. You can do a couple search on Google. You'll find it. Apparently, the newer AMD GPUs that are set to come out somewhere in the middle of next year, I believe, or early next year. So we're looking at about between 6 to 12 months. Are exceptionally powerful, really powerful. So I hope that's true. I really hope that's true. because I think
You
that,
know it, tidy whitey.
you know,
I am impressed.
like Borderlands 4 is a perfect example. It's using Unreal Engine 5. I think any game that uses Unreal Engine 4, this is just my personal opinion. I could be wrong about this, so don't quote me, but I believe personally that any game that uses Unreal Engine 4 that was developed on Unreal Engine 4, if you are running that game on a current high-end, top-end GPU like the RTX 5090, you're probably going to be able to get all the bells and whistles, top settings, highest settings, best settings, and you'll get anywhere between 60 and 80 FPS, no problem. So I think it's a combination of things. I think it is the engine, the game engines as well. I don't think it's really, we're not really early in the Unreal Engine 5 life cycle. We're 4.5, maybe even 5 years into it. Unreal Engine 4 was only been around for, 8 years? So we're more than halfway into the life cycle of Unreal Engine 5, and it's still not quite giving the best performance. Now, it's a double-edged sword because, from my understanding, it does depend on the developers. So, give you an example, like The Last of Us, when they were making The Last of Us Part 1, all the shadows were baked, all the lighting was baked, nothing was dynamically, no dynamic lighting, no dynamic, the shadows are dynamic, but it's baked shadow, so it's a different type of shadow, and it's a different type of lighting. So the lighting is all baked into the game, so it's not being, the GPU is not having to render it, which is why that game runs really well. Runs really, really well, and plus it's on Unreal Engine 4 as well, right?
Vaughn, what the hell are you
So
doing
if the
here?
game's developed in a certain way, which is why certain games take longer to come out, because the assets all have to be, they're custom
Good to see you.
assets
Raiders
designed
will take all the
specifically
help we
for
can
that
get.
game and
So
the
Vault
look and
Hunter,
style of the
find
game,
the map?
and the shadows and the lighting are baked into it as well. So it takes a lot longer to develop those games. But when the game comes out, it's
Didn't
far
find
more
that,
optimized
so I brought
because
Bandit instead.
the GPU doesn't have to render all the lighting and the shadows, right? You ever notice, like in video games, when you're getting low FPS, the first thing you want to do is you want to turn down your shadows, right? Turn down your shadow. Well, actually, to be honest with you, the first thing would be resolution. But if you're sitting at 45, 50 FPS,
Holy broadcast
you're in
sent us a
4K
long
resolution, and you have your
Vault Hunter,
shadow
you're
set
gonna
to
need some
ultra
tools.
or
My
insane
friend
setting,
Ellie
whatever
runs
they
the
call it
catch
now.
line. Go introduce
You want to go
yourself.
set it to
She'll hook you
medium
up.
or high. You set it to medium or high, you gain an extra FPS. Now you're at 60 FPS 4K, right? Everything else setting at,
Have you seen
ultra
these
settings or
Calypso's
high
echo
settings, right?
casts? They're out of their damn minds.
So I think we do. I think GPUs need to get a little bit faster, but also, while also saying that the game engines that these games are being developed on also have to improve. I think more so the game engines have to improve more so than the GPUs overall, because I feel strongly that any game that came out, Silent Hill 2, Wukong, Borderlands 4, if it was developed on the Unreal Engine 4, we'd all be able to get 60 to 80 FPS, no DLSS, 4K, all settings high on an RTX 5090, no problem. No problem. In my opinion, that's how I look at it. So I think the Unreal Engine 5 still has a long way to come in its development, although it has been 4 years, 4.5, 5 years, give or take. It's something like that. It's been around for a while. We've had a few games come out already. Yeah, Silent Hill 2, Wukong. There's been a bunch of them. Oh, you know what? I messed up this quest. You can actually break the game really early on in Borderlands 3 if you don't do this particular quest in sequence. So you're supposed to go get, for this quest, you're supposed to go get a human spine and then a skag spine, which is really morbid, but that is electrified in order to get this to work. Well, I just went and I got the skag spine that was electrical, and I used that first, but getting the other spine is still part of the quest. And if you don't do that, but you set it up, you put it in there, it actually kind of breaks the breaks the quest. So now I can't get a vehicle. it won't pop up, even though it's in there. You can see it's in there. Right? It's in there, but it won't come up here. I don't know. Maybe there's more I have to do. I'm not sure, but as soon as I finish that, it says now you get access to our vehicles and stuff. So it should have worked, but it just didn't. I broke it. Hey, what are you? Okay, I'm gonna get out of this area here. Let's run. See them all behind me on the mini screen there. Yeah, maybe there's something else I have to do. I don't know. Yeah, let me take a look at my quest real quick. No, that's not it. Where is it here? Oh, it's tab. Oh god, sorry guys, it's tab. Hitting all the wrong buttons to get this thing to work. Okay, so let's find my quests. It's here. Okay. Now, long last vault map has resurfaced. Blah blah. Trim the vault despite an ambush. Completed. Yeah. So. Oh, okay. So this one was just for the vending machines. Okay. All right. Okay. So I didn't break it. Okay. I thought that it would get this working, but
Sorry.
oh, what do you do? Let me sell some stuff real quick.
I've got bullets with your name on them. Well, hey, that came out wrong. $1 gajillion? Or a lifetime supply of mysterious bloody meat? Or the death bar of your dreams? No questions asked. Meat and money and guns. There's only one way to find out. So ask yourself this. When we open the great vault, will you be there? Have some money. Now, why not spend it? Everyone has their price.
Okay.
Always a pleasure, Vault Hunter.
Yeah, I know that's like insane pop out. Sorry. That skin. Let's switch that up with this one. Yeah, and what was it? It's 83, and this one was 73. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's try these guns.
Now remind me, what'd you say you was gonna do to my gal pal Lil?
God Queen Tyreen will drink soup from the skull of the great heretic!
My bad, finger slipped. Oh, howdy!
Man, this game is
Didn't see you
brutal.
there.
Can I exit this? Cutscenes drop down to 30 FPS for whatever reason.
I heard y'all were in the neighborhood. Good to see old Lil found some new blood. I'm Ellie. Hey, what are you staring at, hun?
Damn, you're sturdy. It'd take an army to knock you down.
Ain't you a heartbreaker? Lil said you was looking for a vehicle. Damn cultist stole all mine. Mind stealing me one back? Then I'll set you up with a catch a ride.
Okay,
thanks
so
for coming
she's the
by.
one that's going to do the catch a ride. That's right. They're called catch a rides. So spend some skill points. Here, really quickly, I'm just going to spend these points. Yeah, we're going to do that. Bonus incendiary damage. Oh, that looked kind of cool, though, didn't it? See, that looks like everything's all at the right depth. That looks perfect. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go get one of her vehicles back. Where do I gotta go here? Oh, all the way. So how about... Okay, so I gotta go all the way through here. Come up and then come up through there. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, that's not bad.
Don't get between me and my gun! Righteous death!
Whoa.
Goes the dynamite.
This gun hits hard. Oh, yeah. Holy moly.
I am invincible!
I'm sure you think you are. Oh, my God. Bless your soul. I'm sure you think you are. Oh. My shield, my shield. Let's switch guns here. What's that on her wrist? I just noticed that. 207, 208. Is that the time? Huh. That's interesting. I just noticed that now. 213, 14. It's her watch. I guess that's the time. Maybe that's the in-game time. Maybe it actually means like 2:21 at night, like
Pick a car and throw the driver
like AM.
out. That's how we do around here.
I really hope the audio comes in okay. I hope my voice isn't too poppy. Oh. Whoa. Was that all from that one grenade? Oh no! She can get me. She can get me. Okay, hold on. I keep on forgetting that I have my special skill, my special ability. Can I jump in the game? Oh, I can too. That looks awesome. That's perfect. Right? Does that not look incredible? Oh, overheated. Oh, that's it.
Feel the holy...
Oh, man, that was so lucky. I was actually aiming for this guy down here. He just came running out. Got in the crossfire, right? Oh, shit. Hold on. Just wait 1 second. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to... Not with that gun. Got him. Oh, that's cool. What are those slappios? Oh! What are these? That seems weird though. Is that... Oh, okay, because I'm crouching. That's why. Okay. I thought that was kind of weird why her leg is that short. Slappios. And this is... Claps. Clap sap. Okay. Okay, let's get out of here. I think we gotta go this way. Oh! You know what? Oh, I can hijack the thing. Oh, nice! Did I get it? Vehicle. Customize your vehicle and unlock new parts by scanning hijacked vehicles at any catch-a-ride. Vehicles spawned at a catch-a-ride also act as portable fast travel points. Don't like how your vehicle handles? You can change the control scheme in the options menu, remapping inputs for optimal control. Nice!
What I've been waiting.
Let's go! It's me, Mario! Wahoo!
You're near a dead class unit.
Whoa!
I'm the last of my product line. I need you to salvage their parts so I can build a new friend.
Ooh, that sounds lonely. I think that's our future, though, to be honest with you. Ba-boom. Oh, oh, oh.
Gonna tear him up.
Oh, no! Got him.
You
Got him.
got it.
Oh, this thing's cool. Where is she? Done. Oh, like right on my tail. Am I even hitting? No, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I've got it. Just gotta be- Is there another one here? No. Oh, can't get out of there? Okay. Oh, that's where they come from. Oh no! Whoa, what's going on? What happened there? Okay, okay, okay. There we go. There we go. We got him. We got him. There we are. Check the map real quick. How do I get out of here? Okay, so... Yeah, I could just go right off this ledge, right? Right? Yes, I can. Let's go. Whoa! Yeah. Perfect. Oh, the steering is a little tricky. It's a little tricky. You gotta steer with the mouse. Oh, get in. Come on, come on, come on, get in.
All right.
Nice.
Now register with a catch a ride so you can digistruct a new one whenever you want. Just in case you get a Pandora flat, meaning your car explodes.
Okay, so... Yeah.
All set. Happy hunting. You tell Lil our ship's almost ready. Soon as she finds that map, we're good to go.
So I've been playing the game for about 40 minutes, give or take, maybe 35 minutes or so. I think I'm actually about ready to end the video, but I just wanted to show you guys
Rolling?
just a little bit of what it looks
Now,
like.
head to the Holy Broadcast Center and
If
find
you
that
are
map.
playing this on a glasses-free 3D TV, this is going to look incredible. If you have a powerful enough system, oh, something's going on there. Oh, that's weird. That is strange. The left eye is all blacked out. Oh, okay. I think maybe that's my tip to get off. Sorry guys, I don't know why I did that, but here, let me go actually quit the game. We'll go to the main menu and see if that fixes it. Yeah, it did fix it. That was really strange. Continue game. Yeah, I'm not sure why that did that. Just a little glitch, a little bug. It's not a big deal. Yeah, oh, seems okay. Seems all right. Oh no, no! Do I have to redo that quest? I don't hope not. No, I don't think so. Okay, good. All right. Yeah. Okay. What's this? Statistics. Can you change its color? Oh, there's different ones. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, I've always liked that guy. Can I deploy him? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Nope. I thought I could. Nope. It just wouldn't let me. Okay. Right, because I don't actually have it yet. Yes. See, it won't let me because I don't have it yet. Okay, so this one it will because I've got it. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, I'll play for another 10-15 minutes, and I think that'll be it.
Yo, Vault Hunter. So that road will take you right to the Holy Broadcast Center. Watch out for those so-called twin gods. From what I hear, Tyrene Calypso's the star of the show. Her brother Troy runs the cult's propaganda. P.S. They both suck. Just saying.
Oh, a little bit of a dip there. Just a little bit of a dip. Oh, did I get him?
My clan fell for it. Gullible idiots. Now, I've never seen the Calypsos myself, but they must be the most terrifying, bloodthirsty psychopaths Pandora's ever seen. I mean, look.
Where is this guy? Oh, there he is.
The leader after I killed the guy with just my abs. So
yeah, I see him.
imagine what it takes to unite all the clans together. You'd need like a 20-pack, 18 bare mins. I know my clan betrayed me, but if the Calypsos mess with my
that's hilarious.
then we have got a blood feud on our hands, which would be awesome.
You know what I've always liked about Borderlands is just how nonsensical the game world is. Just it's so nonsensical. Like Borderlands is its own culture. You know what I mean? Like it has its own, like, crazy and nutty is like a part of the game world. Like there's no one normal except like a very few people in the game, and they pretty much run all of Borderlands. Like the people who are your closest to normal as you can get are, you know, which is basically like your character minus a few other characters like Claptrap, and I think Briggs was a little nutty. But the majority of them, you know, in the game are just so far out there. Like the one-liners are hilarious. I always feel like the game got most of its inspiration from Mad Max. You know, like just even like if you look at the NPCs, the enemies, like some of them even like look like characters in Mad Max. I kind of feel I don't know if it's true or not. Like there's not, you know, it's nothing official, not that I've found anyways, but I kind of always felt like it was like heavily inspired by Mad Max. There is a Mad Max PC game out there actually you can get, and the Geo drivers do work on them as well. It looks pretty good. But it's kind of like a more dumbed down version of Borderlands though. Just not as much as like as a loot shooter. I wouldn't say it's a loot shooter. It's just more like an RPG FPS type of game. Oh, that took a couple of seconds to load in there. Here we go. Again, guys, I'm really sorry if there's a lot of pop in and stuff like that on my voice. I'll get it fixed as soon as possible. How do I exit this vehicle? Is it tab? No. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Am I? Oh, okay, I'm not. So we're going to go all the way to the right, keep to the right. So basically I just got to keep to the right. Okay. So I was, excuse me, I was going to pick up Borderlands 4. And I thought, well, I kind of wanted, it does run fine on the PlayStation 5. Apparently there's like a small memory leak that they fixed, so you'd have to like exit your game every couple hours, which is not a big deal. Anyone who plays PC games knows that there's always going to be like 1 or 2 bugs that's going to cause, you know, the game to freeze up every like 6 or 7 hours, right? 6 or 7 hours of playing a game, you can expect there to be something going on, some sort of a glitch. You know, it takes a little bit before they work all the bugs out, so it's not really a big deal for me. If I have to like exit the game and go back in every couple hours, like every like 3-4 hours I got to do that, it's not the end of the world as long as the game runs smooth for the most part. But the reason why I didn't get it is because I haven't really fully played Borderlands 3, and seeing that it's on sale, and I already had it on PS5, I haven't really played it. I think no, I did play it. I beat the game. I beat the game, or at least the first round of the game. So you know how you can beat the game, you beat the game once, and then there's like, you can beat it again, and it's like the true ending or something like that. So I haven't done that. How do I get out of here? Is it E? Oh, okay, it's E. Okay. But as soon as I saw that it was on sale on Microsoft's Game Store, I checked Steam to see if it was on sale there, and it was. So I picked it up. I thought, you know what? I knew that there were geo fixes for the game, so I thought, maybe I'll pick it up and I'll get that. So I'm glad that I didn't get Borderlands 4 yet, but I do plan on getting it. And I hear overall, I hear pretty good things. I hear people are enjoying the game, you know. Minus some of the performance issues that people are having. The story is relatively good, you know. Maybe no better or no worse than Borderlands 3.
Guess what? They brought us the Sacred Vault map. If that doesn't earn them a special place in the family, I don't know what does. But first, I want to get real for a second. You've all accepted me, even though I wasn't born a bandit. My first words weren't.
Oh, I don't like this gun at all. I need better gun.
But now we're all family. And family.
I need gun better. Better gun me, please.
Quick shout out. Stay bloodthirsty.
Oh my god. There we go. Okay. Oh, maybe I should take cover. I don't know. But that's cool. See how it's breaking apart there? That is awesome. I've always said, like, sorry, I know that's loud. I've always said, like, the next evolution in game development, I mean, it's obviously going to be 3D, of course, right? In VR, okay, which eventually, you know, when the glasses-free technology gets bigger, and now it's the glasses-free TVs, and people are playing their games, and, you know, in 3D, but, you know, without having to wear glasses. Obviously, it's gonna evolve. Like, the next big leap is gonna be everything's gonna be in 3D, whether it be VR 3D or whether it's gonna be glasses 3D. But for the actual games itself, when playing them, besides just how you're playing them, but I believe completely destructible worlds is going to be like the next sort of evolution of video games, where it's sort of like there was a game called, it came out, I believe it was the 90s or maybe the early 2000s. I think it was the early 2000s actually. It's called Red Faction. You can look it up. You can probably find the game pretty cheap. I believe it came out on PC too, and it had completely destructible worlds. meaning everything was destructible. Everything reacted to what you were doing. If you threw a grenade, you would blow up a hole. You could essentially, if you wanted to, you could fire your way all the way through buildings and rock. Yeah, it was kind of cool. It's kind of, that was sort of its stick, right? Like that's what its gimmick, or whatever you want to call it. That's what it was known for. And then it just kind of went away for whatever reason. But I do feel like next to like the next really big evolutionary leap in games are obviously it's gonna be VR as it gets, as the technology improves and the games are more optimized for it and even developed for it from the ground up. That's going to be a major leap. But I think in gaming and gaming evolution. But I do strongly feel that the next stage or next evolutions be completely destructible worlds, right? Like, it would change the way you look at playing a game completely. Like, for instance, there's somebody behind this door yelling at you, you can't get to me, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Well, if you got a shotgun, you should be able to just blow off the hinges there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, right? And open the friggin' door. That kind of stuff. If you're in a house and, you've got nowhere to escape to, well, but you've got a shotgun or you've got an axe or you've got a hatchet or whatever, just hatchet through the friggin' wall and go through the back of the door, or sorry, the back of the house. If the front is being occupied by people that have all these guns and they're going to kill you, just hack your way through the friggin' wall. That kind of stuff. Like certain things would be harder to break through than others. Like just like in real life, like this crate here. Obviously, if you're trying to kick through it, it would take forever to break that thing down. But if you had a couple shotguns or something, boom, 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 like that kind of stuff. That's what I mean, right? I think that the next evolutionary leap in gaming, in how you play games and perceive games, is going to be having fully destructible worlds. I think it's inevitable, right? It's just it takes way too much processing power, way too much GPU processing power in order to render a world like that. Games like 7 Days to Die are like that. They do exist, but those games are really taxing. They look good though. They look amazing. They're developed from the ground up with that in mind. Everything's destructible. Everything can be destroyed or built back up. It's a completely immersive world in that aspect, right? Where you have complete control of the environment. But when you have, certain things like guns and things like that, yeah, it does, everything has damage to it. There's damage textures to all the block textures and stuff like that, because they're all block textures in 7 Days to Die. And it looks good. Like, the game has been evolving over the years as well. And I think that all games being like that, like games like Borderlands, I think, eventually are gonna evolve to have that, right? But these games were, like, if you looked at Alpha 5, right, or Alpha 4, when the game first was launched to the public, like, man, it did not look like the way that it is now. It's literally taken like 10 years to get that game to look where it does now, right? And it looks good. It looks really good. It does. Like, graphically, it looks really good. The environments are done really well, But I feel like it's taken a long time to get to that point. Like, there's been like 2 Borderlands games that have come out since that game's been created, right? And it's still in alpha. It's still like alpha, what is it, 1 now, 1.2 or 1.3? But it's still in friggin' alpha, right? Because it's so difficult to make a game like that, to have it optimized. Like, it takes so much time, so much work, right? As these Borderlands games, right, to add that extra layer to your game, on top of just developing the story, all the textures, making sure all the guns look right, that kind of stuff, it would take ages for a game like Borderlands. But I do think it's an eventual natural evolution to game development. It's going to take a long time. We're nowhere near ready to be able to. What the heck? Where the hell did he shoot me from? Oh, he's over here. Oh no, he's right here. it's going to take a long time before, like for instance, Unreal Engine 5, I'm pretty sure it has that option for fully destructible stuff. Objects, terrain, vehicles, even like smaller objects and items. I think it does have it, but if you're going to put that into your game, it's going to be so poorly optimized. It's going to get like 5 FPS. So the game has to be developed from the ground up, and it has to be a game engine. And so originally, I think the game was created on I can't remember the actual. Was it Unreal? I don't think it was Unreal, but eventually they switched to Unity because Unity allowed them to have more control and be able to do what they wanted to do with the game while maintaining that completely destructible world. So in that aspect, the game engine itself has to be developed and created around that concept of having a destructible world. Now, the Unity engine is quite unique because the programmers can do all the back-end stuff to make it a part of the engine, which you can do with Unreal Engine as well, right? Unreal Engine 5. But Unity seems to be a little bit more optimized for it. So if you look at like Unreal Engine 5, right? Like the games without having that and what little destructible worlds there are run really poor, right? It's going to take 10 years before I'd say out the gate GPUs are going to be able to run any Unreal Engine 5 game, everything on super high settings, with no upscaling. I mean, no upscaling to be able to maintain 120 FPS, maybe even like, I'd say 144 FPS, just pure raw power. We're going to be using DLSS and FSRR for a long time. GPUs have quite a bit a way to come. That's for any Unreal Engine 5 game. You can play Silent Hill 2 on all max settings, and I think you'll get on an RTX 5090, I think you'll be able to get 50 FPS, 50 to 60 FPS, so it's pretty close. With DLS and all the upscaling features, you can get, I think, 60 to 70 FPS pretty easily, and I think the game has been more optimized since launch. I mean, obviously it has, but in general, I think we're a far way away from games, especially Unreal Engine 5, running really, really smooth. We're probably looking at maybe 2 or 3 different iterations of GPU. So, we're at the RTX 50 series, 67. So somewhere around the 70 or even the 80 series of GPUs. That's when we can expect the Unreal Engine 5 games to run, smoothly 144 to maybe even like 244 frames per second. But we're at least, I think, at 6 to 10 years, somewhere around there. It's really strange because when NVIDIA makes new GPUs, like the leap from the 1080 to the 2080 was pretty massive. It was like 35 to 40% faster GPU, but the leap from the 2080 to the 3080 was like 45 to 50. So there's a huge gap. So sometimes it's really a huge leap, and then sometimes it's really small. Like lately, the leaps in performance between, like, give you an example, like the 4080 and the 5080 is 25-30% faster for the 5080 than the 4080, and then from the 5090 to the 4080, I think it's even less than that. I think it's like 20% faster. The 5080 is something like that, or if it even is. So the gains are getting far less.
Signing off for now. Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.
Oh man, she's so annoying. I always hate that character. I don't know why. I can see why everyone was annoyed with them. I was annoyed with them right off the bat. It's like, man.
Once again to hear your sins and receive your skins.
I feel like it's like a typical boomer rolling their eyes at like a Gen Alpha or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like something like that. That's what I feel. I'm getting up there in age, so it feels like that's kind of what it is. But people don't act like that, so I don't know. It's just annoying. Like I mean, if you think of it from a character design point, right? Like when game reviewers, like when IGN, game trailers back when it was open, when they reviewed games, they reviewed them based off of the gameplay mechanics, performance, gameplay, and also if it was setting out to achieve its goal, right? So if it was setting out to achieve a certain goal and it got that goal, that was also incorporated in the review, right? So a horror game, if you're launching a horror game and it's all like fluffy bunnies and rainbows and butterflies, you're not really achieving your goal. Your game's going to get, the rating is going to get affected on that because your genre is horror, but the games are all balloons and rainbows, right? So obviously it actually affects the overall rating of the game because it doesn't achieve what it set out to do. In this game, if the Calypsos, I feel like it was kind of like a sneaky thing that they did. I think they knew that everyone was going to really hate them, right? And but I don't think that they knew that people were gonna almost take it personally. Like it was like so annoying. It's like, man, why are you in this game? But I think that Gearbox, that was a part of the concept. That it was a part of what they set out the game to do, to have these two characters really piss off and annoy you. I think the purpose was to make you so angry, like you wanted to kill them. And I think like most people who got the game were like so just infuriated by these characters. But that tells me that they achieved their goal. Like that's what their goal was. They almost did it a little bit too good, right? Like these characters are just a little bit too annoying, right? So maybe there's a fine line. There's a fine line between, you don't want to cross. You don't want to cross too over on one side. You don't want the pendulum to swing too far on one side. You don't want to swing too far on the other, right? It's sort of like when they created The Last of Us 2, and spoiler alert if you haven't played The Last of Us 2, I apologize for this, but they killed Joel right off the bat, really quickly early on in the game, and it was, these developers, they wanted to get this real authentic reaction. Like that's like if you talk to any like movie directors and stuff like that, they really want a true authentic emotional reaction, right? And killing off a character like Joel early on in the game, because Zuckerberg, I think at his core is, I think he's more of a director than just a part of the game developing process. I feel it's more as a director as a whole, and has this sort of vision. And so when he made it so that Joel was killed off early in the game, because The Last of Us 1 was all about redemption. It was all about saving Joel's soul. It was all about him falling in love again with being able to break down those barriers, those walls that he put up from the loss of his daughter, and then finding love again and being able to open up. And then boom, life came along, and life happened, and he ended up dying really early on in The Last of Us 2. So it was really heartbreaking for a lot of people. And I think that was the point. That was the point. But the thing is, we're living in a world, dopamine's really high. We just want to play a game and have fun. We don't want to get emotionally moved to a point where we're like annoyed. We just want to enjoy the game. We want to have fun. We're not looking to have these like ultra deep emotional experiences in that negative aspect. And what worked with The Last of Us 1 was the game started off negative. Joel wakes up, he's an alcoholic now, pill addictions, he's always grumpy, he's always pessimistic, and then the game built towards this then you started to learn what Joel was, who he was, and then it became this real beautiful journey where he meets Ellie, and you could see the game in Joel's perspective. The life was like, it was being annoying to him. It was like, what are you doing giving me this kid? Like, I lost a kid. I've got all this pain. Get this kid away from me. And it just sort of morphed into this wonderful journey of redemption and him finally being able to open up again. And that was really, really beautiful because it started off really negative, right? And if you look at The Last of Us 2, it was the complete opposite of that. Right, it started off really positive, right, and then it kind of got a little bit more negative as when Joel died. It was just sort of like that was like peak emotional, a point for us as gamers. It's like, oh my God, we just saved this man's life. We literally saved his soul too, and now we lost him, right? You know what I mean? And then he died right in front of Ellie, which is absolutely horrible too, right? And so you have to think, you know, like the games were contrasts to each other, right? They were polar opposites to each other. One started off really negative, ended up really positive, was a story of redemption, and the other was sort of the opposite of that, but it didn't seem to maintain that, where it was like really positive. You know, it started off really, really positive, you know, and then boom, really negative. And so it did this giant leap. And that sort of emotional roller coaster ride, I think, as gamers, because we just really want to disconnect. We want to play games. We want to have fun. We don't want to have like too much of an emotional roller coaster ride where it's like it's such a quick pull for us. It's like, whoa, like that. It's a little bit too much for us because we have so much invested in those characters, right? Like, and so when you have characters like the Calypsos, right? It's the same thing. It's like it's way too far on one side for us to be invested in the game, because it almost pulls us out of it. It's like, whoa, like these guys are so annoying. Like I don't even want to play the game sometimes, right? Because I don't want to hear their friggin' voice. It's almost triggering. You know what I mean? And in all honesty, that's exactly what happened with Joel's death. It was triggering. It was really triggering. A lot of people were like emotionally triggered. They were so they deeply loved Joel. They deeply loved the fact that he came from this dark place, this super dark place, and life gave him a second chance, and he had this redemption. It was so beautiful. And then boom, he's dead. Like it's being, you know, being ripped away from that character, all that time, all that struggle, all that suffering, you know, that growing that happened, and then boom, it's gone. It's too much for gamers, you know, it's too much for gamers. You know, maybe for a movie that might work, you know, for a movie that might work, you can set up, you know, it sets the tone of things a little bit, but that's only if you had a lot of character development as well, right? And you've really fully used up that you know, that actor or that character in the movie. But generally, it's just a tough thing to get pulled out. So anything that is like extremely negative, like really quickly, extremely negative, you know, pulls on your heartstrings really quickly. It's a lot for gamers who they just want to have. They want to have a good gaming experience. They want it to be positive. They want it to be enjoyable. And sometimes the emotional roller coaster has to be a slow ease. It has to be done in the correct way. In the original Last of Us, it started off with everything negative. Everything was bleak. You know, everyone was doom and gloom. Things were getting blown up and freaking zombies everywhere or infected everywhere. You know, it was very bleak. And actually, you know, it's kind of funny because like at the really beginning of the game, it starts off you're actually in control of Sarah. And I'm sorry about this rant, guys, but I'm playing Borderlands 3. I'm gonna end it. I'm actually gonna stop playing the game right now. I'm just gonna go finish this off, my little rant here, and then that'll be it. But it starts off really cute, really innocent. You're Sarah. You're running around doing your thing in the house. But then, like, really quickly, things get dark. Boom, like fast. All of a sudden, there's an infected trying to break in through the window. Your dad shows up. Bam, bam, bam. Kills this infected dude in front of you. Like, you're from the child's perspective. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Joel is trying to reach his brother. His brother shows up. They try to exit the whole city. It's just chaos fucking everywhere. People are running all over the place, infected, running all over the place. Nobody knows where to go. And then, boom, Sarah, you lose Sarah. And then it jumps to 20 years later. It was just a negative, bleak situation right from the get-go. And then it slowly progresses into this positive thing. And I think that's what separates The Last of Us 1 from The Last of Us 2. It was executed so well. It was done so well. It was a slow progression into a more positive. Like, there were times when I was getting annoyed with Joel. Why are you such a miserable, you know, prude? Like, I get it. You lost your daughter. I know. The world's infected with zombies. But holy crap, don't take it out on this kid. But But deep down inside, because you saw what he had gone through, you saw the man he was, the man he became, and how he's treating Sarah, or how he's treating Ellie versus how he treated Sarah. And you could see he had this wall up. And so that slow progressions from negative to positive is allowed gamers to relax, enjoy the game for what it was. It already was this bleak thing. It always was this negative thing. It already did pull on our heartstrings right off the beginning, but we weren't like too invested. Like the game wanted us to be invested into, like emotionally invested into Sarah. That's why when you start the game off, you're playing her, right? You actually are her. And losing and seeing how Joel loves her so much, single father, deeply in love with his daughter, wants to take care of her, and she almost is taking care of him. You could see that, right? You could see at the beginning of the movie. Right? The beginning of the game is kind of like a movie. Beginning of the game, you could see how she was actually kind of taking care of him in a way, emotionally, right? Whatever he had gone through in his life, the separation, divorce, losing their mother. I don't think it was ever really talked about fully in the game what actually happened there, but they were both taking care of each other. She was taking care of him, he was taking care of her. When he had lost her, he fell apart. She had, like, his daughter was his rock, and it was very bleak. But it wasn't like we didn't have this entire build up, this entire game, and then boom, being pulled away. That's kind of what happened with The Last of Us 2. Right, we all fell in love with Joel. We all loved his redemption story. We loved that. In a sense, it saved his soul. And I always say that my theory behind all this is the story of redemption of Joel was really his daughter. I know this is a little far out, and it's going a little bit far off from where I was originally trying to explain myself with Borderlands 3 and the Calyptos being super annoying and it being a little bit too much. But anyways, I digress. So here. My theory with The Last of Us 2 is this. Joel loses his daughter. He turns into a bitter man. I believe that, and I feel like if you play The Last of Us 1 again with the mindset that Sarah, his daughter, her spirit, her soul is still with Joel, still loving him, still with him, still looking down on him, still helping him, still guiding him, and still being there with him. And she's watching him in this dark place. And I think there's these subtle hints in the game where she is still kind of with him and guiding him to become the man that she knows that he is. Now, I think that Sarah, her soul or her spirit, set it up so that he would meet Ellie. And I think that his daughter always knew the man that he was and knew that he would become that man again if he met someone else another girl that he could trust and he could open up and love again, and that was Ellie. And I feel like maybe the overall story, and maybe it's just a not a very good theory, but this is how I look at it. Joel, when he lost his daughter, lost his soul, he fell apart, and Sarah's soul stayed with him. She brought him and Ellie together. He found himself again. All those walls came down. He fell in love with Ellie, and he became the man that he was before he lost Sarah. And I think that was the reason why early on in the game, Joel died, because he had lost himself, who he was, through the loss of Sarah, and then found himself again through loving Ellie. And that allowed all those walls to come down and him to be the man that he was. And that was when he could let go of himself from this world. That was when it was time for him to go, right? His purpose, his journey was to rediscover himself. To come to terms with the loss of his daughter, which he eventually did, which is an unimaginably difficult thing to do, or a loss of your child, any child, is unimaginably difficult to do, and to come to grips with that, and then be able to find someone that maybe represents her, put his guard down, and learn to love again. And that, I feel, it was the reason why, because once he became the man that he was, it was time for him to go and leave that world to go back and be with his daughter again. And I think that that's how it all played out essentially in some sort of small way. That's just my take on it. And I know it was a lot, and I know that like it's really shocking and jarring to people, and that's what these directors want to do. They want to like shock you and jar you and like, you know, emotionally like toss you around a little bit like a ping pong ball. You know, they want that reaction out of you because they want you to feel something. Because if you feel something, it's real. It makes it authentic because it's emotionally moving you, right? So love that. They just love that kind of stuff. You know, their dream would have all the audience crying, you know, over because that means that you fell in love with the character, you fell in love with the movie, your heart's attached to it. Like that's their creation, right? That's their creation. So, anyways, I digress. So, the Calypsos, it's the same thing. It's a little bit too much. They're a little bit too annoying. We have to find a way to tread the line between the two types of emotions where you're not too overly annoying, but you know you're annoying just enough to make the person not like the character. You want them to like, you know, because they're the bad guys, and they, you know, Gearbox did a really good job. Everyone hated the Calypsos. We all wanted, you know, to beat the game so that they would be done. And so what they set out to do, they accomplished. They just did it so well that it actually got like an emotional reaction out of people. We're like, man, these freaking characters are annoying. You know, they're so annoying. It's too much. It's so over the top. It's so unrealistic. And, you know, and that's why people were just so, you know, wanting to end the game to get rid of them. It actually kind of, for some people, it drove them to finish the game so they could end them because they're so bloody annoying. You wanted to just take them out of the game, and for others it was so annoying they didn't want to play the game, right? So it was kind of a double-edged sword there. So there's a fine line between the two. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to show off Borderlands 3, and I know I typically go on these little long rants that I normally do with, you know, I start thinking about games and blah blah blah, and my, you know, the gears start turning in my head really slowly. They turn just really slowly. But yeah, so hopefully the audio comes in nice and clear. It's not too poppy, and hopefully you guys are able to watch this as well in 3D in side-by-side mode. And yeah, it's worth picking up the game right now. It's on sale, $7.99 on Microsoft Store or the Steam Store. You could probably get it other places too. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sold for, you know, the same price on other front ends. Probably PlayStation as well. You know, PSN is probably there for sale as well. I doubt that it'll be $7.99 though. That seems really, really, really low. I think that there's like a publishing fee or a licensing fee that you have to pay when you want to sell those games. So that's why you always pay a little bit more for these console games, and PC gets it gets a little bit cheaper. But even though there are still fees, it's just a little different for whatever reason. I think Sony, every time a game is sold on the PS5 or the Xbox, Sony or PlayStation, Sony or Xbox get a cut, like a small percentage of it, you know, or a couple of bucks, something like that. It's not much, but they get something, right? But yeah, it's on sale, $7.99. I got the $19.99 version. It's still 80% off. It gives me a bunch of DLCs and some extra items. But the game runs great. It, you know, I'm running on my RTX 2080 Ti. I have no problems getting 60 FPS solid. It's being upscaled right now, like I said, with the NVIDIA app. Shadowplay is capturing all this. And yeah, it just, you know, it's a smooth experience. I think that I will be getting Borderlands 4. I do hear good things about it. Keep in mind, when Borderlands 3 came out, there were issues with it as well, just not as much as there are now with Borderlands 4. But I do strongly believe that it has a lot to do with, you know, Unreal Engine 4. A lot of the features, from my understanding, from what I've gathered for, Unreal Engine 5, a lot of the features on Unreal Engine 5 are very are baked in. So you can create your own custom textures, set everything up, but certain like lighting features, shadow features, anti-aliasing features, chromic features, you know, shadows, or sorry, I said shadows, not shadows, fog, depth of field are all sort of baked into the engine, and you can toggle them. But the older Unreal Engine 4, which also did have that, it was far more optimized, and I believe that there was more flexibility with it. So I think like one of the issues with Borderlands 4 was the distance of the fog. So what made Silent Hill 2 difficult to run on the newer GPUs was because of the amount of fog and the distance that the fog was rendering at. And I think Borderlands 4 also has sort of the same issue, and they're both on the Unreal Engine 5. So I think it still needs to work out some of its quirks. It still has some hiccups there as an engine, game engine itself, that it needs to optimize. So that way when games come out on console or PC, they can run smoothly. So I believe we're 4 years into Unreal Engine 5, maybe 5 years, somewhere between 4 and 5 years we're into Unreal Engine 5. I believe Unreal Engine 4 was 7 to 8 years. So we're at least halfway or a little bit more into the lifespan of Unreal Engine 5. So it's probably going to get better and better. Most likely it's going to evolve. But even if you go back 4 years ago to earlier version of Unreal Engine 4, that engine still ran really well, which makes me wonder, again, if you go back 4 years ago, right, when you go back to, which would be what, the RTX 3080 series going to the 4080 series, there were a lot of gains, like from the 2080 to the 3080, you were getting at least a 40 to 50% FPS boost. From the 1080 to the 2080, you were getting about a 40% FPS boost, and that was because Unreal Engine 4 was coming close to the end of its life cycle, right? It was getting closer to the end of its life cycle, and they were switching over to Unreal Engine 5, and so Unreal Engine 4 was fully optimized and was able to fully use the power of the GPU, and game developers were used to Unreal Engine 4, so they knew how to optimize their games for that game engine anyways. So I think that there's a correlation between the two, between the 2080 and the 3080, why there was such a giant leap in performance, and now we're seeing that drop from Unreal Engine 5. That was from Unreal Engine 5, which I think at this point in time, I think we should be a little bit further on in its performance than where we're at right now. I just think that because sort of like the gaming world machine just wants to pump these games out, right? Get these games out there. That we're probably not spending as much time on optimization as we should, right? So like with every iteration in technology, when you're going from the iPhone 13 to iPhone 14 to iPhone 15, or Samsung Galaxy S22 to 23 to 24, there always has to be something that causes that technology to stand out from the previous generation, and sometimes I think we kind of bite off a little bit more than we can chew. Personally, I think that Unreal Engine 5 needed to bake for a couple more years, and I think overall most people would have been happy if we just stuck with a Unreal Engine 4 that was maybe a little bit more advanced, and then in the background work on Unreal Engine 5 a little bit longer, have it cook and bake a little bit longer so that it can run a little bit smoother, and then we would probably have seen those 45 to 50% gains with the next iteration of GPUs. But anyways, those are my thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave a comment on any of the stuff that I talk about. I just shooting the breeze, showing you guys what the game looks like. I love 3D gaming. I think it's fantastic. I strongly feel like it's going to be the future. There's just going to be more and more iterations of it. I think in a couple of years, if the Acer Predator sells very well and Samsung Spatial Labs glasses-free 3D televisions, monitors, sell really well, which I think they are doing good. The prices have come down a little bit. We're going to see other companies come back. I wouldn't be surprised if LG thinks about it, hums and haws, like, you know what? Let's make a TV. Let's go back to that. And who knows? It could go back. We can come back to changing the industry again. I understand nobody liked wearing the glasses. I get it. If you wear glasses and you're wearing glasses over your glasses to watch 3D movies, absolutely, I understand it. I think I was a little bit biased back in the day when I was talking about 3D, and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. No, I understand. Nobody wants to wear glasses over their glasses. If you're wearing contacts, you don't want to wear contacts and then you want to wear your it's better if it's just glasses free. And so that's where we're at with the technology. GPUs are getting faster. New AMD GPUs coming out. NVIDIA's coming out with some new GPUs, a new 5080 Super. Something else is around the corner. I'm not sure what it is, but there is some rumors going on. We'll see in the new year in 2026. Hopefully it's something really good. Also, AMD has something on the table that they're working on, which is apparently going to be a really high-end graphics card. I hope it's true. It's apparently supposed to be twice as fast as the RTX 5090, even 2.5 times faster in just raw power. That's not including the AI. So we'll see about that. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you later. Don't forget to comment and subscribe and like the video. That'd be cool. Later. Bye bye.